We are training our eyes on Wall Street. Not a pretty sight over there. The street is smothered in red. Wall Street under pressure, hotter than expected core inflation data, rattling investors. But up front, of course, in this edition of Business at 9, we're concentrating on news coming through back home. No more forced tips at restaurants by consumers. The Delhi High Court has put its foot down. Now, restaurants cannot really demand service charges to any of your bills in restaurants, and upholding the CCPA guidelines, the court has ruled that automatic service charges violate the Consumer Protection Act and amount to an unfair trade practice. Industry bodies have fought back, but the verdict is now very clear. Tipping is your choice, the consumer's choice. It's not a charge. What does this mean for diners and the hospitality industry? Samir is here, my colleague who's been tracking this. He's joining us on Business at 9. From Delhi, Samir, it's a Friday. A lot of people are out at restaurants and such. This verdict favors consumers, but restaurateurs, they would be an unhappy lot tonight. Do put the news in context for us.
Well, definitely that's a big win for the government, or specifically the Central Consumer Protection Authority, because the Delhi government has, Delhi High Court has upheld the order or the guidelines that were issued by the CCPA, the Central Consumer Protection Authority, in relation with the service charge. Earlier, we have seen last year, CCPA has issued the guidelines that service charge cannot be levied as mandatory on the bills by the restaurants or the eateries, and these guidelines were issued by CCPA, and these guidelines were then challenged by the body, the food and beverage related industry body. They challenged this particular guidelines of CCPA in the High Court, and where after a series of hearings, now the Delhi High Court has upheld the guidelines which were issued by CCPA. Moreover, the High Court has said that the mandatory levy of the service charge, it falls under the category of unfair trade practice, and the consumer cannot be forced to pay the service charge. However, it is up to the discretion of the consumer whether they want to pay the tip or not. It is up to their own discretion. They can leave the tip, but you cannot be, as a consumer, cannot be forced to pay the service charge. And if any restaurant or any eatery does so, then the consumer can raise the complaint on the National Consumer Helpline number, which is 1915. But definitely, this is a big relief for the consumers who actually faces these sort of problems where the restaurant, they actually mandatory impose the service charge. Now it has been cleared by the Delhi High Court that it cannot be levied. It is up to the discretion of the consumer whether they want to pay the tip or not. But you cannot forcefully ask the service charge from the consumers.
So tips are not mandatory. It's up to the consumer. We'll have to wait and watch how the hospitality industry reacts to this news. But this is what we have. And this news coming through earlier this evening. Samir, many thanks for joining us with that.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.